All right, Buck, we've got some great news to announce here to everybody. And that is not that Rhett is not here. That's not the great news. The great news is the reason that Rhett is not here. So him and his wife, Kana, welcomed a beautiful baby girl, Cody Lee Kleinschmidt. She was born 1:38 a.m. on the 1st. So great birthday, December 1st. 6 pounds, 12 ounces, 19 and a half inches long. I love that stuff. Sent me a beautiful picture. So baby's healthy, mom's healthy, and so happy for Rhett. He's got a couple boys, so now he adds a girl to the mix. And that is also it's going to hurt him a little bit, Buck, because he's crushing us right now in the rookie draft and the rookie fantasy league that we're playing. He's going to have to take a little hiatus and rely on Gavin here.
Oh, well, see, I thought under the rules, the paternity rules, that like he does paternity leave, like he doesn't get a chance to do anything, like he's out. Like, no, he also gets to say, like, I thought we put a 0 on the test. I thought we put a 0 on the test until he comes back.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have helped us catch up, because right now he's at 62 points. I'm at 49. Buck, you're at 45. I mean, this is getting out of control here. It's not good. Coming off last week, he had Judkins, who got him some first place points at the running back position. He had Higgins, got him some first place points at the receiver position. And then he got a second place point there with Loveland at the tight end spot. So he had 7 points last week. You had 4. I only had 1. So it is, unfortunately, it's tightening up between me and you, but we're nowhere near where we need to be in terms of catching Rhett. And as we sit today here, he has the second pick. You are first. I am third. We have no Carolina. So no Tetaroa McMillan, no New England. So the hottest, running back in Henderson, he's not in the mix. No Giants, no San Francisco. So those are the teams on the bye, Buck, and you have the first overall pick.
First overall pick. Here we go. Oh, I've been doing this for so long that I can't do it. So I need a running back. My guy Henderson is out. Like Ashton Genty doesn't give me anything, but gosh, let's go with Ashton Genty, because I don't have it.
Whoa, first pick. All right. Gavin, you're up here for Rhett. Who do you want to go with? Throw it in the chat. He's going to go Judkins facing the Titans. That was going to be my pick. That's a kick. That's a kick to the.
That's hard to run against the Titans. Hard to run against the Titans team.
So we got 2 running backs. So I don't need to worry about the running backs. I can go to my tight ends and my receivers. So let's go for my tight end pick. I'm actually going to go Loveland.
Oh, I couldn't go. I was trying not to go Tyler Warren against the Jags. I felt like this.
Yeah. See, now you might have to, but I'm going to go with Loveland at tight end. And then receiver wise, I'm going to go with Buka. So now Gavin's back up for Rhett. He's going to go Higgins. So he's going back to the well there.
So I'm going to go Warren. And then I need a rookie wide receiver. Who do you want to put in? And rookie wide receiver. I mean, I guess, I can try that. I'll try Luther Burden. Let's do that.
Luther Burden?
Yeah, we try that.
All right. So you go Luther Burden, and then Gav's going to go Gadsden for the tight end spot there. And then I'm going to finish things up, and I'm going to go RJ Harvey against the Fighting Las Vegas Raiders. Feel great about that pick.
This is their week, man. Every week we see them.
Rhett's just going to complain if we somehow get back into this thing. It's because I had a baby. I couldn't be there. That's why you guys caught up to me. So I ended up with Loveland, Ibuka, and Harvey. Rhett ended up with Judkins, Higgins, and Gadsden. And Buck, you ended up with Genty, Warren, and Burden. So there's our rookie draft here. We'll see how this thing goes. See if we can close this thing down a little bit. Buck, we got to get to some college coaching stuff. And as we do that, I want to tell you, I was talking to a Power 4 head coach the other day on the phone. And I said, what's your least favorite part of this gig right now with how this whole thing is set up? And he goes, I'll rank it for you. I go, what's that? He goes, my least favorite is retention, is having to retain your own players and those conversations and guys, not happy with their money. And I got, you've got agents calling you and saying, we've already got X, Y, and Z lined up for them other places. So you match it or release. So that's my least favorite part of the job right now is actually roster retention. He said, second least favorite part is the NIL. just in terms of going out and doing that yourself, going out and getting players from other spots, like that free agency aspect of it. He said, ironically, the easiest part of this job right now is high school recruiting. So that's the easy part. That used to be what all these coaches would complain about was, oh man, if I could just be in the NFL, I wouldn't have to recruit. Now, like, shoot, recruiting high school kids is the easiest part of my job.
Yeah, DJ, I do wonder when the worm is going to turn, right? Like, I think there's this instant fascination early with like the portal and all that other stuff. But I do wonder sometimes if you're taking on other people's problems. And if you're not taking on people's problems, but if you're not getting that part of it, is, okay, I get them. They have success with me. How do I keep them? How do I continue to sustain what I want to have in a program when it's so transient? So many people coming in and out and doing all that other stuff just makes it very, very difficult.
No doubt, man. It's just it's a whole new ball game. But I want to get into some of these coaching moves and get your thoughts on them, how you think they fit. Start first of all with the Lane Kiffin thing. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not going to lend my name to the outrage one way or the other. There's people that hate Lane Kiffin through this process. There's people that think, Lane Kiffin's a saint. I don't really have a hot take on it either way. It'd be tough for me to leave a team that was going into the playoff, but the way the calendar works, this is kind of the option that you have. And he felt like he's got a better chance to win a national championship there. I think that's been proven, although I think that college football is just different now. I don't know that that standard holds the same. I would say that my definition of pressure is the cost per win, I think, is pressure. In other words, you get paid that much money. The expectations are very high at that school. And now you're not going to be celebrated for winning 10 games in Baton Rouge. That's not what they care about. They need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, they need a little more of that. And so it's a little walk on faith or a leap of faith for LSU to see if Lane can get there, because he doesn't have any tangible proof of being able to do it. He doesn't have it on his board. It doesn't mean that he can't do it, because he's a hell of a recruiter, does a really good job offensively getting him up and going. But yeah, the pressure and the expectations there are crazy, and he has to do it. I do understand why people are outraged, because, man, this is the best season that Ole Miss has had.
Yeah.
And all of the noise around it over the last couple of weeks could have derailed their opportunity to go. And they still may get punished for him leaving when it comes to the seating and those things, but it is what it is. Pete Golden to take over. He'll have to figure out a way to do it with a skeleton staff, particularly on offense, but that's what it is. And you have to figure it out. I think the frustrating part when it comes to Lane and going to LSU is, okay, like if you love like the new opportunity, great. You say you love Ole Miss, at least give them the best chance to go. So if you go, can you leave the offensive staff there for a little bit so they can do it? I think that is probably the thing, is they won't be the same team that they were when we see them in the postseason. If they make the post, I assume they're going to make the playoff, but they won't be the same team.
Yeah, I also think the way that schedule went, they dodged some bullets in terms of the SEC this year. I didn't expect that with Lane Kiffin, they were going to make some deep run in the college football playoff.
It's the perfect storm, but you never know. It is the perfect storm. It was a perfect storm for them.
So I'm at a high school game. This is a couple weeks ago, and it was Thanksgiving. So you had all the high school kids or the college kids come home, So I'm at this high school game, and my daughter, who's graduated a couple years ago, I see her friend who was there, watching some of her younger friends play in this football game. And she comes over she goes, Mr. Jeremiah. I go, yeah. She goes, are we going to keep our coach? So he goes to Ole Miss. I was like, man, this poor. I said, I'm afraid I got some bad news on that front. I don't think you are. We'll see what happens. But unless something changes, I think he's going to go to LSU. But I'm like, hey, just be grateful. You guys got to the playoff. I think she was a freshman this year. Like you got to go to the college football playoff.
And if they get a home game, game, it's going to be bananas.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking of with that move, there's always been this debate, and USC's had some great receivers. And this goes back to Lane's time there when he was coaching receivers. But the debate has always been, is it Ohio State or LSU? Like, what's been the premier receiver factory? Well, Lane's had great receivers when he was at USC. When he was at Alabama, elite receivers. He's had really good receivers at Ole Miss during his time there. And now he gets to go to LSU, where there's primo kids coming out of Louisiana and Florida every year. Like, they are going to have, it's going to go back to what they had when they had Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all these, like they are going to have a factory of elite wideouts with him at LSU.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you just have so many guys that come through there. You talk about anywhere from Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, to the new school, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and others. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, like they've always had those guys. But Lane is proven to showcase, highlight wide receivers. He likes to throw the ball all over the yard. It's going to be exactly what LSU wants. And it'll be funny because right now, Ohio State is wide receiver in my estimation, in terms of like the amount of guys that are coming out there and playing in the league. But it makes for a great conversation. It's going to be interesting to see who he ends up getting down there. Not only the guys straight from high school, but the transfer kids that come in there that want to get showcased.
I know Michigan's won a national championship in the last 10 years without elite wide receiver play. But that to me is one of the things about college football that people don't talk about. Those elite Alabama teams had big time receivers. Georgia had some big time receivers. And if you throw Brock Bowers in there as well, like big time passing game weapons. Mm-hmm. Ohio State on their run, awesome wide receivers. Like that's a big component of trying to win a national championship. Obviously, the LSU with Burrow and those guys I just mentioned with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all those guys, like that's an important position to be able to recruit and find big time talent.
Yeah, because you got to be able to have explosive plays. The explosive plays matter. Way back in the day when we used to have Brian Billick come on and he would talk about the explosive play quotient and how the explosive plays are directly correlated to the amount of points that you score. The receivers can deliver them. They can give those field flipping plays where 20, 40-yard passes, and they can do it in a variety of ways, whether they run past you or they catch the screens and move up and down the field. You have to have at least one and preferably two when you're playing 2 and 3 wide receivers all the time. You need to have some game changers on the perimeter.
All right, Buck, I want to give you a couple of these hires and just tell me which one you like the most or what you're excited about here. We get John Sumrall. He goes to Florida from Tulane. We get Alex Golish from South Florida. He goes to Auburn. You get so those are the two. And then the other one is someone in terms of stepping up a level. Bob Chesney goes from JMU. He goes to UCLA. Those some interesting ones of guys who've been successful coaches, and they're going up a rung on the ladder here. I'm excited to see what those guys look like.
Yeah, it's interesting. First, man, it's two that stand out. It's hard to separate. I love Alex Golish going from South Florida to Auburn. And the reason why is because, like, having followed him, like being offense coordinator at Tennessee, like high-powered offenses, going tempo, what he did at South Florida in terms of getting them not only to be like a dynamic offense, but their toughness and physicality, seeing the presser, seeing the first meeting that he had at Auburn, process-driven toughness, we're all about it. Like, I was buying in. And I believe at Auburn, you absolutely have the ability to be able to get it. It's just whether be patient enough to see him flip it and get it done. John Sumrall is a great coach. Having watched Tulane, having been down there, having seen how he's able to get it done, he is a close friend, evidently I didn't notice, of Liam Cohen. And so that connectivity that they have, but as he says, and I think this works in Florida, he wants to be like Bob Stoops was to Steve Spurrier. I want to be a defensive-minded guy who has an explosive offense that lights up scoreboards. Florida is about winning, but you got to win with style. And so I think both of those hires match where they're going. And I think that's really, really, really important.
Yeah, well, I'll say too with John Sumrall and our friend Dave Caldwell, who's going to be the GM there, roster retention, like they've got receiver backs, they've got a lot of really, really talented young skill players. We'll see what they decide and what DJ Lagway decides. If there's better for everybody if he moves on, or better if they try and give him a fresh voice and see if they can get him to kind of play and perform up to what his recruiting status was as one of the top players in the country. So I'll be interested to keep an eye on that one. The UCLA one to me is fascinating. I don't know that was a very attractive job to a lot of people, but Bob Chesney, who's just continued, I think he was Holy Cross, then James Madison is a young guy. And that's been obviously with Curt Cignetti, JMU's been a place that's been a little bit of a launching pad as of late.
Yeah, launching pad. This dude is good, man. He's a really good coach. Really excited about what he has the opportunity to do at UCLA. And I think UCLA is a program that has to think differently than some of these other programs. They don't have all the resources, all the things that are afforded to some of the other teams. And so you have to have someone who has an underdog's mentality, but doesn't use that as an excuse. his dynamic offense will be attractive and appealing to recruits that want to go to UCLA. What he's been able to do his entire time, he's used to doing what we talk about, more with less. I think that'll work. And that's a big thing. Look, these coaching hires are funny because, one, there's so many of them. I didn't think the carousel would spin like it's spinning, but we're talking about Will Stein going to Kentucky, offensive mind, who is from Kentucky, played at Louisville. Both parents went to Kentucky, so it's almost like a homecoming for him. That is interesting to me. And then the one that hasn't been settled, but the conversation that's going, Penn State and Sataki from BYU.
Yeah, is that really going to happen? I think Kalani's a great coach. As we're recording this might already be done, but it's not a fit that came to mind immediately, but a guy's a darn good coach.
Darn good coach. Now, stylistically, it fits because I think what you would get is like that old school
Rugged
Penn State feel. What I can't believe is going to happen is that BYU is going to let one of their own leave. And what has happened in the 11th hour, I didn't know that there were a bunch of millionaires and billionaires associated with BYU.
Have you ever stayed at Marriott before?
But evidently, they've come out the droves to make sure, like, hold on, we may have a little more money to spend, so it may not be a done deal. But that was the biggest surprise in terms of the rumor mill that was heating up. And I was like, oh, that is a big one.
Yeah. Gavin put in the chat, the Crumble Cookies founder. He's doing his best. And I sold a lot of cookies. By the way, first time I ever had a Crumble cookie, I didn't know that. I just heard about these things, and I was getting some tires. And so I like a discount tire or something. I saw a Crumble cookie. I've heard of this. Everybody's talking about this place. So I went over there and ate. So I get home and my wife goes like, oh, how was it? I'm like, I went over to Crumble Cookie while I was getting some tires. So, what'd you think? I actually kind of made me sick. Like, I don't feel so good. So I don't understand. Like, did you where's the rest of the cookie or whatever? I go, what do you mean the rest of the cookie? Those are for like 4 people. Those are like, I'm like, I thought that was just, she's like, that's like 4,000 calories you just ate with that thing. I'm like, no wonder I feel so sick. That thing was huge. It's like a cookie cake. Not one person's supposed to crush that thing, apparently. I think that was a one and done for me on the Crumble cookie. And it's a great cookie, but I overdid it. I just overdid it, Buck.
I'm trying to figure, I think I've only had it one time. I'll try to do a better job.
I think you're supposed to cut it up like a pie and take like a little sliver, but I
never would be able to do that. Like, I never would be able to do that. Yeah,
tough call, tough decision. But the man's trying to put his money where his mouth is here. He sold a lot of cookies and he wants to keep that BYU football program humming. How about this? Is there a better fit of all these coaches in schools than what Michigan State did with Pat Fitzgerald?
Oh, man, you talk about throwing it back. The one thing that Michigan State has always been is they've always kind of been the junkyard dog of the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Mark D'Antonio was there, like that was what they did. Like they took the fight to people. They had a little feistiness about them. Pat Fitzgerald is definitely going to bring that back. Now, it's funny seeing him at a school that's different than his alma mater, but I think he understands the conference, the recruiting footprint, and he certainly knows what works well up there. I can't wait to see what he gets an opportunity to, I would say, make amends for an ugly ending at Northwestern.
This would be, they would never do this, but just from a marketing standpoint where we live in this era where getting any type of attention is kind of good for your program. Pat would never do this, but this would be my idea. I would present to him. I would say, okay, we're going to do a little social media clip where we're going to buy how many teams in the Big Ten now? Like 18, something like that?
A million of them, yeah.
So I'd say if there's 18 teams in the Big Ten, we're going to buy 17 ice bath like tubs. And we're gonna show like the video. We're gonna have all these 17 things lined up, and we're gonna do the address labels, one to each of the teams inside the Big Ten. Just say, hey, we're not saying we're gonna beat you, but you're gonna need some extra ice tubs after you get done playing this version of Michigan State Spartans.
Oh, because they're going all the way back. They're going all the way back to what they were when they were at their best. You always knew what kind of game it was. I went to the Big Ten championship game. I think it was Kirk Cousins versus Russell Wilson. And man, it was a bloodbath. I mean, it was an absolute fist fight in a phone booth between those teams. And when Michigan State, when Sparty, as they say, is built like that, that's when Sparty's at its best. They are always at their best when they're kind of feisty and ornery and that stuff. And I know Pat Fitzgerald is definitely going to bring that back.
Kiffin would have done something like that. Like if Kiffin would have been like at a Michigan State,
have you seen him? Have you seen him trolling already?
No.
Like
he's already trolling. What's he doing now?
Oh my God! The date of the game when LSU goes to Ole Miss with a little popcorn emoji.
Wow.
I mean, some people run from the smoke. Some people run to the smoke. He is definitely running to the smoke.
Body's not even cold yet, man. Good night.
He is. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, I thought we had the evolution. We were doing hot yoga. Nope. Still just as feisty.
Jeez. One more I want to hit you on here. Actually, Ryan Silverfield going from Memphis to Arkansas is interesting, but Tavita Pritchard, a guy that we scouted, he was the architect of one of the biggest upsets in NCAA history when they beat SC. But Andrew Luck came in after him, same quarterback room, and took over for him. And now he ends up hiring him as Andrew Luck's kind of running the program up there at Stanford. He brings in a former quarterback to run things up there. So it definitely feels like a little bit of an ode to that very successful era of Stanford football.
I fully expect them to get back to what was very, very successful for them during that day. Now, no one can replicate and be exactly what Jim Harbaugh was, but they have seen the blueprint and they do know what works. And you have two people that know what works, and that alignment is everything. Like the vision that Andrew Luck and Tavita will have, because they've seen what works. And so I think we'll get back to old school football in Stanford. They have to be the outlier in college football in terms of if everyone is zigging, they need to zag. They need to put multiple guys on the field. They were tight in you for a minute. I think they get back to that. Like there are some ways that they can create advantages, even though their recruiting pool is limited. To me, it's still a very attractive school. It's still very attractive for certain people. I think you have to understand what it is. They have to kind of fish in the same pond that Notre Dame and Rice and Vanderbilt, they have to fish in given the academic challenges and rigors of the university.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see as these guys get all settled in. We've got signing day is upon us. The transfer portal will be opening up here shortly and kind of see all this different movement that takes place. And a lot of these guys who stepped up a level, I'm curious how many of them do the Signetti thing and take some guys from their previous team into their new stop and see if they can't kind of jumpstart, installing your culture and what you want from a football standpoint. That was a huge advantage for him. Even though if they were good, not great players, but just having guys who would be your, another, a mouthpiece for the mission, so to speak, in all these different position rooms. I think that's pretty important.
I think it's really important because they also, look, they're your best advocates. They can tell you, hey, guys, if we do this, it works. Like I've seen it, I've been a part of it. I know what it is. And from a coaching staff standpoint, having people in the room that already know some of the X's and O's to be able to jump in, it does jumpstart it when you get to spring practice and all that other stuff. Look, man, it's going to be a crazy time because the portal's open. People are jumping in. Signing date is on Wednesday. Like it's just a lot going on. And you quickly have to rebuild and retool. And I think the change is this is the only time the portal's open, right? Like this is going to be the only. This is the only time.
Yeah, for a while, I think it shuts down. Then I don't know when it opens up back again. Who knows? I think it opens up again after the spring.
Maybe but this would be a big one. So you see a lot of movement and that stuff, and it coincides with signing day. So
it's crazy. By the way, signing day, Buck. What was your? Did you commit on signing day, or were you committed and signed up, locked up before that?
It's so long ago. I committed like on the spot. In the middle of senior year, I'd already committed. Had to keep it quiet. That was one thing that Coach Brown wanted because we brought in 4 wide receivers that class. I was the first to commit. He was like, "Hey, can you shh?"
Yeah, he wants to get these other guys in.
Yeah, so I did. I played along. Yeah, it was a good teammate. Yeah, so no, that was fun. But signing day is always great, man. So it's going to be great no matter what the level. Everyone who has an opportunity to play beyond high school, it's a great opportunity. They should take advantage of and have fun.
It's never been harder too, because of the transfer portal. It's never been harder for these high school kids to get spots. There aren't as many spots anymore with all.
No, not as many spots, and so they should not feel bad. Whatever level you end up in, that's a blessing. Just being able to play beyond high school is a dream. It should be a dream come true for so many.
Yeah, go make the most of that opportunity. All right, Buck. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, man. Let's have fun. Let's keep doing it.
All right, man. That'll do it for us. Appreciate you guys. See you next time right here on Move the Sticks.